Welcome to the Abrams Boxing Show, powered by Last Out Media and brought to you by www.15rounds.com, the worldwide leader in boxing news. Also, Abrams Boxing PR Media and Broadcasting, the industry standard for boxing media relations and play-by-play broadcasting. Also, check out www.abramsboxing.com, Abrams Boxing on YouTube, as well as M. Abrams Boxing on Twitter and Mark Abrams Boxing on Instagram. Good afternoon, evening, or morning, wherever you're watching. This is the Abrams Boxing Show. My name is Mark Abrams, and we have a low this week in terms of news and results and going over some fights as we weren't able to do a show last week. So we're going to try to pack two shows into one. I'm going to try to get to an interview I did with Vinny Pazienza a couple weeks ago. It's a very, very entertaining interview. So we're going to see if we got time at the end of the show to get to that interview. For all the latest boxing information, go to www.15rounds.com. Also, check out some great boxing interviews on Abrams Boxing on YouTube. A couple weeks ago, actually October 15th in Brooklyn, New York, former WBC heavyweight champion of the world, Deontay Wilder, scored a hellacious one-punch knockout over Robert Helenius in the first round of the WBC heavyweight elimination bout. With the win, Wilder now 3-2-1 with 42 knockouts, 30-4. Just Helenius came in, left himself wide open, got drilled with the right hand, and he went down like he got shot, and the fight's over. So we will see. We will see what's next for the Bronze Bomber. A fight with Andy Ruiz Jr. I would welcome that. That's a heck of a fight. So hopefully that comes to fruition. On the undercard, speaking of hellacious knockout, Caleb Plant went to 22-1, notched his 13th knockout as he stopped former two-time WBC super middleweight champion Anthony Durrell. Durrell now 34-3, 25 knockouts. That was in the 9th round of their WBC elimination bout on the same card. Plant just ducked under a punch, landed a big left hook, and that was it for Durrell. Plant, obviously, after the fight, kind of did some theatrics with the putting dirt on the Andre Durrell, why he laid there. But expect a big fight for Caleb Plant in his next bout. We'll see maybe hopefully a fight with David Benavidez or someone of that ilk. I think that Plant should be in big fights, especially after doing the fight with the Canelo Alvarez about a year ago. And they did a real good pay-per-view number for that fight. On the card, Frank Sanchez, heavyweight, remained undefeated, 21-0, now 14 knockouts. He scored a 9th round stoppage over Carlos Negron. Negron falls to 25-4. And in the IBF elimination bantamweight fight, Manuel Rodriguez went to 21-2. As he scored a technical decision over former previously undefeated Gary Antonio Russell. The fight was stopped due to a head clash, much like their first fight. About a year or so ago, where they had a head clash like seconds into their fight. So scores were 100-90, 99-91, and 99-93 for Manny Rodriguez. Earlier that day in London, England, Alicia Baumgardner captured the IBF and WBO to add to her WBC 130-pound championship as she took a 10-round split decision over Michaela Mayer. Scores are 96-95 twice for Baumgardner, 97-93 for Mayer. It was a terrific fight. Alicia Baumgardner is now, and we'll get her on the show, is now the unified 130-pound world champion. The main event that night was Clarissa Shields remaining undefeated. She became the undisputed super middleweight champion with a 10-round unanimous decision. A good fight against Savannah Marshall. Shields now 13-0. Marshall falls to 12-1. Scores are 96-94 and 97-93 twice for Alicia Baumgardner. For Clarissa Shields in that fight. So she's now a 3-division undisputed champion in women's boxing. So we'll see what she does next. I think she's going to do her PFL, go back to the PFL mixed martial arts, and then we'll see when she returns to boxing. Also, that day was a loaded day on October 15th. Sorry, we had some sound issues last week, so we couldn't get to all this. Devin Haney made it 2-for-2 over George Kambosos Jr. with a 12-round unanimous decision to retain his undisputed lightweight title. This was in Melbourne, Australia. Speaking of the 130-pound divisions, the one belt that Alicia Baumgardner does not have in that division is held by Hyun-Mi Choi, and Choi made a successful defense of her WBA title as she defeated Vanessa Bradford. Bradford now 6-4-2, 6-4-2. So we'll see if the unification fight happens between Choi and Baumgardner. I know Alicia wants that fight. She wants to become undisputed, and so look for that fight hopefully in the near future. Last Thursday night, new Golden Boy promotion signee Floyd Schofield was impressive as he took out Daniel Roses in the first round of their fight at Fantasy Springs Resort Casino. Fight was live on the Zone. Time happened at 1:37, just 97 seconds into their fight. Schofield now 12-0 with 10 knockouts. Roses falls to 22-6-1. Friday night in Atlantic City, Sinek Becco scored a mild upset as he defeated previously undefeated Isaiah Steen in a super middleweight bout that headlined the ShowBox The New Generation card live on Showtime. And Becco was a split decision. Scores are 97-93. Actually, it was a unanimous decision. I apologize. 97-93, 96-94, and 98-92. That was a little wide for my liking. Becco, 27-2 now. Steen falls to 16-1. Steen was about I think he was about a 4-1 favorite in that fight. Also on the card, super welterweight Marquise Taylor went to 13-1-2 as he scored a unanimous decision over previously undefeated Marlon Harrington, 8-1-7 knockouts. Scores are 80-72 and 79-73 for Marquise Taylor, who's with King's Promotions. Fighter out of Houston, Texas, doesn't have the gaudy knockout numbers, the gaudy punching numbers, but he gets the job done. And then the opener bout, which was the best fight of the card, which, two heavyweights slugging out, which you love to see. Moses Johnson, again, a slight upset, went to 9-0-1, 7 knockouts. He scored an 8-round majority decision over Elvis Garcia. Garcia now 12-1 with 9 knockouts. Scores were 76-76. They were overruled by 2 77-75 counts for Moses Johnson. Saturday night on the Zone, Mauricio Lara tuned up for a world title fight with a vicious third-round stoppage over Jose San Martin. Lara now 25-2-1, 18 knockouts. San Martin falls to 33-6-1. Look for Lara, who scored 2 knockdowns in round 2 in that fight. Round 3. Look for Lara to get a big fight, whether it's Lee Wood, Jose Santa Cruz. This guy's must-see TV. He's a very exciting fighter, is Mauricio Lara. A lot of action this week as we've got fights Wednesday night, Thursday, Friday night, Saturday night. So tonight we're taping this fight on Wednesday. We're taping the show on Wednesday. ProBox TV kicks off the weekend with a fight that's in conjunction with the WBO convention that will feature super featherweight Brian Chevalier, 17-1-1, 13 knockouts, taking on Cesar Juarez, 27-12 with 20 knockouts. Thursday night, there'll be an internet pay-per-view from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Yves Elise Jr., who scored a win on HBO years ago, takes on Jose Macias Enriquez. Also, super lightweight Steve Claggett, the veteran, takes on Jonathan Jose Reyes. Friday night, ESPN Plus will show, Friday afternoon, will show the continued ascent to Guido Vianello, who he goes home to Rome, Italy. Vianello, 9-0-1, 9 knockouts, takes on Jay McFarland. Vianello, the top-ranked signed fighter, so the fight will be on ESPN Plus on Friday afternoon. Saturday's a bit of a busy day. ESPN Plus will stick with the top-ranked theme, as we'll see the return of the former pound-for-pound number one fighter in the world, Vasyl Lomachenko. 16-2, 11 knockouts. He's going to take on Jermaine Ortiz. Ortiz now 16-0-1 with 11 knockouts. Ortiz got a nice win on Showbox over Nahir Albright, and also a win over Jamel Herring that qualified him for this fight Saturday night live on ESPN Plus from the Hulu Theater at Madison Square Garden. Also, featherweight Robesi Ramirez, who's very close to a world title shot, 10-1, 6 knockouts. He's won 10 in a row since losing his professional debut. He will take on late replacement Jose Matias Romero. Jesse Magdaleno was supposed to get that opportunity. Magdaleno to bout with an injury. Jose Matias Romero, 26-2, 9 knockouts. Both Lomachenko and Romero is two-time Olympic gold medal winners. So that's a lot of gold going to be inside the Hulu Theater Saturday night at Madison Square Garden. 2 shows on DAZN this week. The afternoon portion will see lightweight champion, the undisputed champion, Katie Taylor, make her first ring appearance since her classic fight with Amanda Serrano. Taylor, who's now 19-0, 21-0, 6 knockouts, will take on Karen Carabajal, 1902 knockouts. That will take place from the Wembley Arena in London. The co-feature will see former world champion Kiko Martinez, 43-11-2, take on Jordan Gill, 27-1 8 knockouts. That'll be for the European featherweight title fight. So that's the afternoon portion. Saturday night on DAZN, a real good lightweight bout between former world champion Joseph Diaz, 33-2 15 knockouts, taking on William Zepeda, 28-0, 23 knockouts. Real good crossroads fight. That will take place from the Pechanga Arena in San Diego. Also seeing action will be Alexis Rocha, 21, 13 knockouts, who's been a frequent guest on the Abrams Boxing Show. Take on Jesus Perez, 24-3, 18 knockouts. So a nice, you got a nice doubleheader on DAZN. If that's not enough, you got the ESPN show with Lomachenko. But if that's not enough to kind of whet your appetite or make yourself full, I guess, Showtime pay-per-view will have a Jake Paul will take on Anderson Silva, a much talked about fight that will take place live on Showtime pay-per-view, $59.95 from the Desert Diamond Arena in Phoenix, Arizona, right outside of Phoenix, Arizona. Some good undercard fights. We'll see Ashton Sylvie in his ascent, a good young prospect. So some news items of the week. Zelfa Barrett will take on Shavashan Rakhimov for the vacant IBF Super Featherweight World title in Abu Dhabi. That will take place on November 5th as part of the Zerto Ramirez Dimitri Bivol card live on DAZN. Let's see here. For the undisputed bantamweight championship, Naoya Inoue, 23-0, 20 knockouts, the monster, who's got 3 of the 4 bouts. He will take on WBO champion Paul Butler, 34-2 with 16 knockouts on December 13th in Tokyo. The winner will be the undisputed bantamweight champion. Last week, I forgot, WBO number 1 ranked lightweight Liam Paro, 23-0, 14 knockouts, stopped. Previously undefeated Brock Jarvis, who's 20-1 now, with 18 knockouts in Australia, battle of Australians. So look for Liam Perot, actually is how it's pronounced, to get a shot at one of these vacant belts that's being contested for that Josh Taylor. Actually, I think that might be the one that Josh Taylor still has. Well, if he moves up to welterweight after the fight, the rematch with Jack Catterall, expect Liam Perot to be in one of those world title fights. WBO's interim super middleweight title will be on the line when Zach Parker, 22-0, 16 knockouts, takes on John Ryder, 31-5, 17 knockouts. That will take place in the O2 Arena in London on November 26th. That'll be live on BT Sport in the UK. I expect ESPN Plus, but still not known yet on Thanksgiving weekend here in the United States. That fight was ordered after Demetrius Andrade did not want to go to England and fight Zach Parker. So Ryder and Parker in a good all UK scrap will take place on November the 26th. Now, on November 5th, a good card in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, I believe will be on a boxing TV here with Christy Martin Christy Martin Promotions. It will feature undefeated Kenman Evans, 8-0, 1-2 knockouts. Will take on Aaron Casper, 7-4 and 2-5 knockouts. That will be for the NABA light heavyweight title. A lot of news. Swamsy missed a week. A lot of news. Lightweight Emiliano Vargas, 1-0, 1 knockouts. The youngest of the Vargas dynasty, I guess they're calling, has signed a multi-year agreement with Top Rank. Vargas, whose father was the former world champion Fernando Vargas, he will make his Top Rank debut on November 12th in Las Vegas. That will be a part of the Janabak Alim Connolly and Sinisa Estrada. They'll be both defending their titles on an ESPN Plus card. WBC heavyweight champion Tyson Fury will defend his title against Derek Chisora at Tottenham Hotspur Arena in London. That will take place Saturday, December 3rd. He'll be fighting Derek Chisora. Daniel Dubois will make the first defense of his regular WBA heavyweight belt against Kevin Lorena. That'll be exclusively on Sky BT Sports box office and ESPN Plus in the United States. A lot of people wanted to see someone other than Chisora, who Fury's defeated two times already. Fraudian slip. It's probably going to be 3 times after December 3rd. Popular Philadelphia heavyweight Sonny Conte will be back in action this week. 10-0, 8 knockouts. He'll take on James Bryant, 6-1, 4 knockouts. This Saturday night on October 29th at the 2300 Arena in Philadelphia. Johan Promotions will be the promoter for that event. Rising Star Promotions, DHH Promotions, and Blue Cork, in association with Events DC, announced that the postponed Beltway Battles Round 3 in Washington, D.C. will take place on November 19th now. It was postponed on October 1st due to the tragic and untimely death of Buddy Harrison, who's the father of the main event fighter and co-promoter Dusty Harrison. So that has now been rescheduled for November 19th at the Entertainment and Sports Arena in Washington, D.C. See here, Dillian White will return to action on November 26th. November 26th, starting to be a big day of action. We just mentioned about the fight between Zepeda and Prograis are going to be fighting on pay-per-view that night. So earlier in the day, we're going to have where are we? I lost my train of thought here. Dillian White against Jermaine Franklin live on the Zone at the OVO Arena in London. London's a ton of arenas. That's unbelievable. They got like 5 or 6 real good boxing arenas in London. On December 10th, which was the biggest buzzkill in boxing this week, Terrence Crawford will take on David Avanesian on a $35.95 pay-per-view on BLK Prime streaming service. It's, I guess, a new streaming service to boxing. Crawford, everyone thought the fight with Spence was going to be announced any day. Then you hear all kinds of problems with the event, all kinds of problems with the fight. So Crawford, I guess, was tired of waiting and didn't want to be out of the ring for, it's going to be about 12 and a half months by the time he gets in there with David Avanesian on December the 10th at the CH Health Center in Omaha, Nebraska, live on BLK Prime streaming pay-per-view. On November 5th, it was announced that David Morrell Jr. will take on Aldous Your Boss Unilive. Say that thing 10 times for the WBA Super Middleweight Championship. Well, Showtime announced the rest of the card last week. It's a pretty good fight. Middleweight Yoelvis Gomez or junior middleweight Yoelvis Gomez will take on the former world champion Jason Banana Rosario, and Fedor Charkazan, 20-13 knockouts, takes on Nathaniel Gallimore in a 10-round contest. So that's pretty much all the news of the week. I had a chance to talk to Vinny Pazienza. It was a real good interview. So I'm going to play this right now. This is how.
We're here with the legendary, and if you don't know how many titles he won, just look at the back of his fist, 5-time world champion, Vinny Paz. Vinny, you come back here a lot. You must enjoy coming down to the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame.
I love it. Atlantic City's my place. I almost lived here practically at one period of my life. I was here a lot. Not just fighting. I was here coming down, having a ball, going to the clubs, gambling on the tables. Atlantic City's it's a bomb place.
Just from what you said, my next question, I don't know what answer I'm going to get, but what's your fondest memory of Atlantic City? I've been asking that mostly about fighting, but I don't know. Is your fondest memory of Atlantic City a fight?
Well, probably not, but I'm not going to go into that section of life.
It's a family channel.
Family channel. Okay, so one of the great memories of my life here in Atlantic City was beating the great Roberto Duran. I had already fought him once, but I just was in awe, that I'm fighting Roberto Duran. Like who does that? And the dude hit me harder than anybody in the history of my life. Like, he was unbelievable. And guess what I did last night?
You hung out and you played blackjack with him.
We got drunk together. We had a ball. I was cracking him up.
Now, let me ask you a question. So you guys were out having a fun time last night. Did the fights come up in the conversation?
Not at all.
Wow. I'd figure you have to have a few, the 8th round, the first fight.
Not at all. And then that's good. I literally told him last night. I said, Roberto, I can't believe we're here and I'm with you. And I said, you don't understand. I loved Muhammad Ali and Roberto fucking Duran. I said, you was what I watched when I was a kid. As a kid, and I grew up, I wanted to fight like you, and it was cool. Roberto's a great guy, and tough as nails.
So you said he was like a legend to you and everything like that. When did it really hit you that I'm fighting this guy? Was it at the press conference, or was it when you guys were finally staring each other down in the ring?
When he started talking shit about me at the press conference.
It wasn't Roberto Duran your hero anymore, was it?
Not my hero no more. I wanted to murder the dude.
Another moment I have to bring up, Dana Rosenblatt.
Atlantic City, 4th round, says it all.
Who got a harder punch that night, him or the referee?
That's a good one. Now you're going to have to splice that in.
No, it's in.
I love Tony Orlando. I literally called him up. I called him up that night, and I said, Tony, I'm so sorry. I said, yeah, you're the best. I said, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. I didn't want to hit you. And he goes, don't worry about it, Vinny. He said, just give me one wish. I said, whatever you want. He goes, I want a rematch.
Well, at least he didn't say it didn't hurt, because that would say something about you if you couldn't hurt the referee.
He did not say it did not hurt. But I put him down. I put him down with a short shot, and it was actually pretty funny. We laugh about it now, but he don't.
Are you still keeping up with the game today? And who do you like to watch?
I kind of went out when Floyd Mayweather went out with his 50th win. I was like, that was cool, and I don't watch too much anymore unless somebody that I know, somebody's working the corner that I know, a promoter.
Like if Spence Crawford gets made, you really don't do it?
No interest.
Well, why do you think that? Why do you think that is? Why did that happen for you?
Well, you work in the donut factory your whole life. You get sick of the donuts.
You're right. I always ask my friends who own a pizza parlor, you eat pizza all day? They're like, no.
Of course not. No, they eat steak. They eat pork chops.
Especially if they're selling a lot of pizza.
Yeah, definitely.
So what's Vinny Pazienza up to?
Well, I'm working on a big documentary right now, and it's going to be kind of off the hook. It's going to be
You doing something that's off the hook? I can't believe that.
Imagine. Yeah, that's going to be a big one for me. And after that happens, I'm good. My life is done.
I every time Bleed for This comes on, I still watch it.
I love it. I watch. I still watch it. I watched it last week. Everybody wants to watch it with me. They want to watch it. Like if I pick up a new girlfriend, She wants to watch it with me.
That's another thing I guess we can't talk about either, right?
Of course not. We cannot talk about girls. Come on. What kind of station is this?
I told you, Family Channel. We might have to go PG-13 after this interview. Well, Vinny, thank you so much for your time. It's always an honor to have you here in Atlantic City, and God willing, we'll see you next year.
Very good.
Thank you.
There's a possibility of that.
I think you've already made your plan.
Great interview with my man Vinny Pazienza. Great interview. Terrific guy, and always has the stories. And guys like that, I'm going to try to get some more. I want to maybe do some more long form interviews and just talk about the past. Relive some of these fights. So look for some of that on Abrams Boxing on YouTube. Well, that's our show for the week. I want to thank everyone for joining in. We'll be back next week. We'll talk some Jake Paul, the results. We'll talk some Lomachenko, some of the other fights, and preview some of the fights that are happening in the first week in November. I'm Mark Abrams, and thank you for tuning in to the Abrams Boxing Show.